This February, we're curating amazing conversations celebrating the heroes, the pioneers, and the everyday people who made history. Black History Month on KBLA Talk 1580. Together, we carry the torch forward.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Well, welcome to another Friday night. We've been doing a series on how some of the coping styles that we develop as children because of needing to survive complex trauma actually end up becoming prisons for us. And what happens in adult life is we realize it's a destructive prison. It's hurting ourselves, it's hurting others, and part of our brain wants to get out of it, and part of our brain resists getting out of it because it's their default setting, it's their normal, they know what to do there. And so it's set up all kinds of systems to keep us stuck there. And so a big part of recovery is understanding what these prisons are and then beginning to learn how to change them and get out of them. What I really want you to understand as we do this series is not about shaming people and saying you're bad for being stuck in a prison. You didn't begin the process that got you in a prison. Somebody in authority who abused their authority and ended up abusing you or neglecting you is the one that made it necessary for you to develop these survival coping skills. They started the process, but it's you who's keeping the process going today. And it's you who is the only one who can change the process and get out of the patterns. The responsibility to change is now on you. So you didn't start the process, but you're the only one who can end it. You're the only one who can learn the tools needed to stop it, the tools needed to have better ways of coping, and that's what this series is all about. And so tonight, I want to talk about what for many has become a prison, and that is not trusting anybody, mistrust. And so a child who was repeatedly betrayed by their parents, lied to their parents weren't there for them to meet their needs, their parents were inconsistent in meeting their needs, their parents who broke promises, who kept secrets. How does that affect a child? It erodes trust over time repeatedly and brings a child to a point where they conclude it is not safe to trust anybody. If you trust people, you get hurt. Therefore, they develop a logic. As they go into adult life, it says it's better to only trust yourself, to not trust anybody. So they do that. But then what happens is they can't have intimate relationships, because intimate relationships need trust, and you need to be able to trust others. And they have all the problems that come out of not trusting somebody else. And so all their intimate relationships are messed up. But then they can't even trust themselves. And so they hurt themselves. And they have a default setting that says, I know how to deal with untrustworthy people. So they're drawn to untrustworthy people. And so then they have all the emotions that come from not being able to connect, not being able to be authentic. And so there's a loneliness and
the brother was straight flame throwing. And the only thing I disagree with, you don't attract untrustworthy people. No. You attract what everyone attracts, and that's works in progress. Yeah, there are no perfect people. Do you understand? There are no fully assembled, ready to go and be perfect in a relationship kind of person. That doesn't exist, okay? So there are no perfect people. So we have to be careful of how we frame that. Like, oh, you attract an untrustworthy person. No, you attracted a person who is a work in progress, who's probably vibrating on the same consciousness level that you're vibrating on. Whatever is healed or unhealed within yourself, they're probably mirroring that work as well. So it's not about attracting someone who is untrustworthy. It's about attracting someone who is at the same level that you're at, which is why you hear me say you get who you are. Many years ago, I recontextualized a famous quote from Maya Angelou. You know, of course, Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. And I also, understanding the mirror of relationship concept, recontextualize that piece by saying, when someone shows you who you are, you should believe them as well. And maybe a lot of people was like, oh, don't touch Maya Angelou's work, or I don't necessarily agree with that. Yeah, the part where when they show you who you are is really hard to swallow, because many people think they are better than they actually are. Many people think they are more than they actually are. Many people think they're more evolved, more understanding, more caring, more nurturing than they actually are. If we're going to have a conversation, we got to tell the truth, right? And as the man was breaking down in the clip, all of this stuff is coming from early childhood experiences once again. And if your parental deities mishandled you, it's almost like it can't be undone until you go back and undo it, because the natural proclivity is to run into a relationship hoping that someone will give you what they weren't able to give or refused to give, right? And when you don't get it, or when you get some of it and then it's taken away, you start to feel like, wow, the original sin or the original hurt happens all over again. And you may not know this consciously, but that's what it is. You're looking for a partner that won't let you down like your parent did. Do you see the enormity of that expectation? It's heavy, right? Which leads us to our understanding of tonight's topic. See, many people, and most of us have been through something. Most of us have, come from some type of dysfunctional experience in our early childhood. So there is the seed of fear, right? Fear that you might not be accepted, fear that you're not worthy enough, fear that you are somehow defective, fear that, once you get comfortable and settled with somebody, they're going to leave you, fear of abandonment, right? It's some type of fear in us. But tonight's topic is going to challenge a lot of that. You can't be obedient and paranoid. Answering the call of relationship, real versus imagined threats. Are you a relational hypochondriac? See, when you get hurt, fear, the seed of fear is already planted. I do not want to go through or become re-traumatized by what I've already been through. I'm trying to get the opposite of what initially hurt me. Right? How many people give up on relationships because the hurt has just the constant ringing of the bell, just when you think it's all good, bam, it happens again. Oh my God, I thought this one was the one. Oh my God, everything was good until, right? Are you a relational hypochondriac? Real versus imagined threats in modern relationships. How do unhealed traumas and attachment anxieties transform benign interactions into perceived betrayals? Listen, we can't even get over cheating. Do you know how benign cheating is? I know this is controversial. It's a controversial take. We can't get over cheating, right? See, if you were raised in an environment where your primary caregiver made you feel like you weren't enough, and you carry that I'm not enough concept into self-concept into adult relationships, and somebody cheats on you, that sense of I'm not enough, and they went out and found the supplement by cheating on. Do you understand? Do you see where I'm going with this? Right? We can't even look at it from and I'm not an advocate of cheating. I've cheated. I've been cheated on. I'm not an advocate of it. But what I'm saying is you're dealing with human beings. And I think it's erroneous to think that one human being forever can fulfill your needs, all of your needs, all the time, and you not find something monotonous or redundant or whatever, right, about it. Especially in today's culture, right? The way our minds are set up. Do you understand? Cheating, and what I'm really saying is, cheating or stepping out on your partner is something that should be forgivable. It's something that can be worked on. But if you're carrying this I'm not enough narrative, it's over. Right? You can never come back from it. Do you see? How do unhealed traumas and attachment anxieties transform benign interactions into perceived betrayals? And we didn't even get to the cheating part. We're talking about perceived betrayals. Empirical studies in relationship OCD and attachment theory reveal that when past wounds remain unintegrated, our internal alarm systems misinterpret neutrality as danger, fueling a cycle of self-imposed relational paranoia. Where you going? Where you been? Who you been with? Who you been talking to? Huh? Which do you want? Obedience or liberation? How fear-based compliance erodes authentic connection. Fear-based compliance. Well, I better act right or I'm going to lose them. Well, I better do things that I myself wouldn't choose to do, had I not been in this relationship with this person. So let me just acquiesce. Obedience or liberation. How fear-based compliance erodes authentic connections. Does our conditioned need to obey societal or relational norms mask a deeper fear that stifles intuitive wisdom? Drawing on cognitive behavior research and metaphysical insights from Krishnamurti, this topic challenges the assumption that strict adherence to external rules ensures safety, suggesting instead that it may imprison us in a cycle of reactive mistrust. Your partner can't behave good enough to put out the fire of unintegrated wounds. That damn fire is going to burn whether they act right or not. Right? You're going to be hyper vigilant. You're going to find slights. This is what Dr. David R. Hawking calls the slight collector. You're going to look for slights. And remember, whatever the thinker thinks, the prover will prove. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You're going to look for things when they're not there. And if there is a illusory form of fear, aka anxiety, that means you will find things that aren't there to satiate anxiety's hunger. The toxic allure of predictability is clinging to comfort, a recipe for emotional paralysis. Whew. Can the desperate need for predictable environments trigger toxic emotional patterns that ultimately undermine growth? Listen, I'm the voice of reason, and we having a real conversation tonight. Are you scared? We're going to find out when we come forward.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
They can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips, now I am a revolutionary.
On Saturday, February 22nd, you are invited to A Night with the Panthers, a special fundraiser dedicated to supporting Black Panther veterans who now require assistance with essential needs such as medicine, food, and housing. These Black Panther veterans championed human rights, fed the hungry, educated the community, and stood as powerful symbols of resistance and resilience. Despite their incredible sacrifices, loving and serving the people did not come with retirement plans or financial security. So, now it's our time to honor their legacy and ensure that they are cared for with the dignity they deserve. You can help by attending and supporting A Night with the Panthers, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Project 43 Team Post Center, 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles. For more information, contact Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. That's Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
1 in 3 children born today will get diabetes. This sad prediction by the Centers for Disease Control will come true if millions of Americans don't improve their lifestyles, especially by changing what they eat, how much they eat, and how active they are every day. Every 23 seconds, another American gets diabetes. Stop diabetes before it starts. To learn more, contact the American Diabetes Association or download our free diabetes education programs at learningaboutdiabetes.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Black is back. Black is back. Black is back. Black is back.
Well, I'm black, the dominant shade. I'm an upgrade, a hip-hop musician, so listen as I get paid. See, just rips the cut with the dope, still can't afford if I can't sample a dope noise show up. I know the ledge over the edge, I won't fall. This rhyme was designed for a fighting fall. We got to struggle and fight against apartheid. Who are these people telling us we're to live and die? I'm sorry to say, but one day we are gonna die. I don't know about you, but I'm here and I'm gonna try to make the black man understand that we can get the program back in our hands in the motherland. You see, it's gonna be hard, but I'm God. I got the proof, the truth, and now it's time to get loose. Spreading my wisdom, educate the people. Forget these divine evils, just leave them a hell alone. Pick up your telephone, dial some positive brothers so they can join it and come along. Peace, unleash the Prime Minister Farrakhan for preaching and teaching the truth to the deaf and blind. With negative brothers, you know Shabazz don't bother. Most brothers strive, but I strive harder. These are actual facts, the dominant black. I'm right and exact. I came to tell you, my brother, black is back.
Concerning the
Black is back.
concerning the
Black is back.
concerning the difference.
Can we together stop the whole movement of escape? It is not an action of will or determination or verbally taking a vow never to escape, but actually deeply not avoiding that thing. So that memory of the past pleasures, companionship, all that has no longer a place, and so we can remain with that thing called pain completely wholly. You understand? Are we meeting? We are thinking together? I hope. That is, my son is dead. I love him.
Listen, I love him to death. That's why I gotta play him. I love him to death. He made sense to me, man. Listen, we've made comfort, predictability, right? Our poison and prison of choice when it comes to relationship. Do you understand? We've made comfort and predictability our preferred poison of choice. Is clinging to comfort a recipe for emotional paralysis? See, it starts in childhood. Okay, I got hurt. I got wounded. I wasn't given what I needed. I didn't get this. I didn't get that. That becomes the norm. Right? That's a pattern. See, you can't be comfortable where there is no pattern. Where there is a pattern, there is attachment. Where there is attachment, there is suffering. Do you see? So now what we've done is we say, okay, what we didn't get must come from a partner. Now, if I can get my partner to capitulate to my unintegrated wounds through my subtle control, right? I'm going to put my nurturing and my compassion and my sex and my money and my attention on an IV drip based on their capitulations, right? Do you see what's happening? So many people are afraid to relate, because to relate is to be able to see oneself and another as they are. That's relationship. That is the mirror of relationship. But you can't see you fully until you accept you fully. So the whole relationship is a game of manipulation. Can the desperate need for predictable environments trigger toxic emotional patterns that ultimately undermine your growth? Well, this is what I know, so I'm going to stay with that. Yeah, this guy reminds me of my dad. My dad was a good person, but yet toxic. And guess what? You know what? I didn't get it all from him, so maybe I'll get the rest of it from this guy. And this is why we're through with relationships, unless we can get what we can manipulate out of others. I know people don't want to hear it. Neuroscientific research indicates that over-reliance on stability creates a fragile psychological framework where any deviation is interpreted as catastrophic, reinforcing fear-based behaviors and stifling innovation in relationships. I got a lot to talk about, 'cause y'all too damn scared to love. And then you got the nerve to say it don't exist. Debate me when we come forward.
But I don't believe the way I do conceive. Imagine why you're gagging, smoking weed. Black man from Asia, I will amaze the crowd. Kick it loud, boy, this is not a deja vu. Who in the world is gonna stop me? You souped up sucker, you slipping, you sloppy. Rhymes are retarded, separated, departed from real to unreal. Don't get me started, cause once I start unleashing my talents, people take a vote, so place your balance. 9 times out of 10, the God will win. Here's some booze or lose to you.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. A judge has reinstated President Trump's federal employee buyout plan, ruling unions lacked legal standing to block it. Now, the buyout offer is back on the table for roughly 2 million federal workers. Former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. is again seeking a presidential pardon after Trump pardoned Rod Blagojevich. Speaking in Chicago, he also advocated for others who've served their time. Jackson, who was black, resigned in 2012 and served 30 months for campaign fraud. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is scheduled to meet with Trump's border czar Thursday after federal charges against him were dismissed. His lawyer denies any deal was made. Bronx officials fear the meeting could lead to ICE raids, but Adams insists his record speaks for itself. And rapper Cardi B is blaming President Trump for her ruined designer heels at the big game, saying Secret Service made it hard to get around. She's weighed in on politics before, criticizing Biden but supporting Kamala Harris. I'm Amber Payton on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
If you were self-employed or a 1099 contractor and missed work because you had COVID or cared for an immediate family member with COVID in 2021, you may qualify for up to $32,000 for the Sick and Family Leave Credit. Visit taxcreditnow.com.
I have a dream today.
The road to freedom wasn't paved with just big moments. It was built day to day, step by step, voice by voice. This February, experience Black History Month through the stories that shape Los Angeles and beyond. KBLA Talk 1580, where Black history lives.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, visit taxclosure.org to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
With Target, checking off your Valentine's Day list has never been easier. First, surprise your favorite people with something extra thoughtful, like a soothing candle and a memorable scent, or a decorative picture frame to show off every moment. Both buy one, get one 50% off with Target Circle. And don't forget to treat yourself. Find the sweetest style for your special occasion with 20% off women's dresses now through Friday. This week, find Valentine's gifts for everyone you love, only at Target.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-652-1714. That's 800-652-1714. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-652-1714 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yo, Troy, man, this is a funky track, man. What's up?
Yo, it's just a little something I put together in the basement, man.
Yeah, it's like, man, I wonder what King Son and PRT would sound like on this together, man.
Yeah, I wonder.
We have a duty, and our duty is to teach and civilize the power of sunborns, a culture of wise.
Intelligent beings, when it comes to MCing, 3 wise men agreeing, poor but righteous
teachers who can't afford to live like kings of the sun with the death sword.
Some claim to be our A alike, even be alike, but we don't see alike. You strike out,
Even though you're a hit to the mentally dead, let it be said, the gods are taking heads.
Yo, culture freedom, you seen the snake shed? Get on the mic and take the snake's head.
It's my supreme communication, intellectual elevation, and this is what it takes for me to generate my nation, cause the proper education always causes elevation.
So, red flags, right? This is the conversation. What are the 5 red flags? Tell me the red flags. Maybe that's the tricky bit, is we keep looking for red flags, and maybe that's not the way to do it. Maybe it's time to stop looking for red flags. So what are you supposed to do instead? So instead of looking for red flags, what can you do? How about you pay attention to how you feel? Now, I know we've taken on this topic in many different ways on this channel, but I can't put too fine a point on it. And I think it gives you a connection to yourself that can really be a very useful tool for you for discernment. Listen, I see the TikToks and the Instagram posts and the other videos and the news articles. 5 top red flags, 10 flags you need to know, 6 flags to identify you're in a relationship with a narcissist, this list, that list. Listen, for most of us, if someone did these red flag things within the first few weeks of a relationship, many of us would run away. But red flags don't tend to work that way. They tend to be subtle. They tend to be a very light pink that slowly turns to red. They take a minute to unfold. They may be nonverbal, and they tend to be peppered in to what feels like a relationship that's nice in some ways. Red flags are specifically tend to refer to the beginning of a relationship or a turn in the road of a relationship. Exactly at a time when it's about love bombing and idealization and seduction and excitement and feeling good. So the red flags tend to get peppered in there with the good stuff, and they aren't the only prevailing state, which is why love bombing is so confusing, because there's maybe a few pinkish or reddish red flags popping up, and the good stuff pushes us to justify or rationalize, because especially in those early days, at a minimum, lots of people want the relationship to keep going. So what else can we do about staying on top of some of these earlier signs that a relationship may not be healthy? Why don't we try a little bit of somatic awareness? I don't even call this intuition, though you may experience it that way. But it's something that you might feel in your body, the proverbial hairs that stand up on the back of your neck. But it may not just be that. It may be a discomfort in your stomach, a tightness in your chest, a constriction of your throat, a discomfort that you just can't name and that you try to shake off. Just about any survivor of narcissistic abuse will think back to that time. Just do that for a minute right now. Think of one of the more impactful adult narcissistic relationships in your life. I mean, even a childhood one, if that's what works, but this tends to make a little bit more sense in adult relationships. Close your eyes. Think about as you started to feel more aware in this relationship that something wasn't right. How did you feel it physically? How did you talk to yourself about that feeling? Most of us don't give enough credence to these feelings. We may want to write them off to butterflies in our stomachs or fear or anxiety rather than, my body is telling me something isn't right here. I need to slow down. And of course, there might be all kinds of structural factors that are operating. You may feel pressured to make a relationship work, or you may like some things about this person, or you may feel an obligation to stick it out. So you may just push away these feelings or even pathologize them. Oh, I'm so paranoid. I need to stop this. But you're...
Dr. Ramani never plays any games. But as I'm listening to her deeply and intently, I begin to question. A frightening question begins to emerge from my subconscious self. Does trauma recast love as the devil in our spirit? Unhealed trauma, childhood trauma, negative experiences Because what I'm starting to realize is, man, when real love shows up, if your norm is toxic, is broken, is wounded, that's all you know. That's all that makes sense. That's your home base. This is why so many people run back to their normal. Love seems foreign and dangerous. Doesn't even exist for many people. Do you see? Love becomes the problem because we never really had it when we were supposed to have it in those formative years. Right? Have you heard people say some of the highest levels of consciousness seem weak? Like caring, like forgiveness, nurturing, empathy, gratitude seems weak. That's how you know you're living in toxicity. Right? This is why most people would say, which would you rather be? Loved or respected? A lot of people say respected. Respect. Revered. Most people want to be feared, right? So that they don't have to feel fear. Oh, people don't want to be loved. They don't even know what it means. From fear to authenticity, can radical self-inquiry dismantle paranoia in relationships? Right? Does deliberate shadow work and mindfulness help us transcend the self-imposed barriers of fear, combining clinical insights from relationship anxiety research with the meditative teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh and Pema Chodron? This theme explores how confronting our inner demons can convert destructive paranoia into a foundation for profound, genuine intimacy. Did you know love has no rules? But every relationship got a damn plan. And if things don't go to plan, somehow this ain't the right person. If the person shows up as a flawed human being and makes mistakes, somehow they're worthy of discard. Somehow they're worthy of being downgraded, marginalized, and compared to someone that you feel you deserve. When we come forward, I'm going to go to the phone lines. People want to talk about it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
An MC just like an English muffin. Don't worry about a thing because the poop is never bluffing. I catch headaches from the whack, so then I take a buffin' and I max. I wait until the opportune time and then I tax. But should I max? Now they say sinning is for sinners, so I guess I'm not a sinner. Beginners for beginners, so I guess I'm no beginner. This is how I spark it, puts loot in my pocket. When it comes to having pleasure, I get hard as a rocket. MC Grand Poo coming through all the residue. The songs are main classic dating back to the Babalu. My boys are calling out. The phones all of them jocking. I can think of many episodes I swung down Lincoln Park. No, I'm not a phony and I got a tenderoni. Love the way she is, not too fat, not too bony. Don't drink Sanka, won't sink like a thing. I knock the boots off a certain Casablanca and I thank her. Some rappers stink like Engelbert Humperdinck. Better yet they cap it. I got a bad habit similar to the girl, or she's gotta have it. I think with the brain and I was behind a zipper. I'm living kinda good, similar to Jack Chipper. A landlord named Ripper did a show at the Cobra. When I'm finished with this, I'll be paid like Oprah. So if honey wants to act fly, I'll just play like guy and I'll say see you later. Here comes the man and you find none greater. A program to slam with the summer, spring, or fall. Before I do a show, I get some kicks out the...
Hey guys, I'm Heidi Preeb. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. Today on this channel, we're talking about a topic that I am very excited about. And this is the topic of how to build self-trust. I believe that self-trust is at the absolute core of any sort of healing work. Until we believe that we can trust ourselves to do what we said we would do and to show up for ourselves in a way that is going to make our lives healthier, happier, more expansive, it's going to be really difficult to get any hard self-work done. And so I believe that fostering self-trust needs to be a foundational piece of the attachment healing.
Pause. And I hope I can go back to her. Do you know men love women who haven't done any of this work? I'm about to give y'all some game. Unhealed men love women that are unhealed. Do you know why? Did you hear what this lady just said? Listen, if she doesn't do any of that work, she is a prime dependent. All you got to do is have your ish in order financially. That's it. And men who haven't done any self-work will be controllers. and performers and payers. I'll pay for that. Well, she needs this. She needs that. Da, 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 da. Well, okay. What's wrong, baby? How can I help? Do you see the game? I just needed somebody to take the pressure off. And here he is. And it pours into his false sense of self, false sense of masculinity. He doesn't have to do any internal work. Are you guys paying attention? See, for men and women, when you go in and you say anything that I modeled in childhood is on trial. It's on trial. Right? Anything that was negative, maladaptive, insecure, dysfunctional, abusive, anything controlling, anything that was a byproduct of gaslighting or manipulation, everything, it's all on trial. And I am the only Supreme Court justice of my own spirit. When you start to put those things on trial, things that happen to you, experiences that happen to you, and you pick up the pen, like I call it, self-authorship, you start to put fear on trial. Where there is fear, there will be control. Where there is control, there will be attachment. Where there is attachment, there will be addiction. Do you see? You start to put the whole chain on trial. Because nobody ever taught you this, and many people continuously go through it and through it and through it. You know what happens? You get to an age where you go, you know what? To hell with relationships. I'm through with it. I've had enough. You gotta put what made you on trial. Attila, Houston, Texas is in the building. Attila, what are your thoughts?
Child, listen, we in here cutting up in this chat. So there's so many good comments. There was one in particular, I think it was your nephew saying something along the lines of devils. But to me, I'm like, you are your own devil. So in this case, when we're talking about imagined versus real threats, you are projecting that. Like, that is all you. It's all in your mind, whether it's real or not. Either way, I'm like, what's the lesson in it?
Right.
So, right. So I think we spend so much time trying to identify, search, and source out something that's external when really it's already within you. It's your inner conflict that you're seeing play out in front of you through someone else, right? And so in regards to being a relational hypochondriac, I certainly relate to that because sometimes my anxiety is on 10. And I will find myself having whole dialogues about events that have not happened. So I say all that to say that if you're not observing, if you're not thinking about what you're thinking about, then this is very, very likely to happen to you. You're very likely to have a certain disposition where it's kind of, how do I say, like you feel like it's you against the world kind of thing because you've been hurt so much. And so I would say in that case, Dr. Ramani's advice was sound. I will say the only thing I probably disagreed with was when she was talking about your feelings because of the CPTSD. Like, if I'm going through CPTSD, I can't trust myself in those moments. That's like having like OCD or bipolar disorder or something like that and telling that person that they can trust their feelings. Personally, I don't feel like I've been able to trust my feelings when I'm emotionally dysregulated. And that's kind of the piece right there I think you were getting at. So we've got emotional dysregulation, but then the other side of that is, what if you're spiritually dysregulated?
Ooh, now that's a whole nother piece. So, wait, come on, I'm listening. Come on.
Well, you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, so emotional dysregulation, meaning that I'm unable to use my emotional intelligence to rightly think out a situation, to rightly resolve conflict, or like Dee said, what's the solution? So I feel like if I'm spiritually dysregulated, I do the same exact thing. I'm looking for a solution, but to a deeper problem that lies within me. It's a spiritual issue, but I'm trying to solve it externally.
So let me create just a little distinction here, and most people don't understand it here. Spiritual work is about being.
Yes.
Clinical work is about doing. Right? Do this. Don't do that. Do you see yourself doing this? Do you see yourself acting this way? Do you see yourself thinking this way? Do this instead. Do you see? Spirit work is being, meaning. Yeah. And the clinical side is starting to catch up, which is why they're integrating mindfulness. A lot of the answers for anxiety lies in spiritual work, meaning meditation, where one actually transcends what the sadhus and the gurus and what they would say is, oh, man has a monkey mind. Man has to get his mind off the hamster wheel of constant rumination and thought. But it is a practice that takes time to cultivate. We've been raised in a society that conditions us to speak prayers as opposed to listen to them. Do you see? Meditation is more about hearing the word of God, as opposed to Western ideation of supplication is talking to God. Do you see? Does that make sense?
Sure.
And I'm not saying either one is wrong, one is better. What I'm saying is there has to be this integration of stillness. And stillness is a type of internal quietude where you're not asking, you're not searching, you're not looking, do you see? You're just accepting. You are quiet internally. Stay with me. When we come forward, we going back to Houston, Texas. My niece is cooking.
But they got bid to put it blunt. Honey, I from the kids. So boogers back off, breaking off. Here comes a regulator. Bet you that you find none greater. So Alamo, tell me what you gonna do. Because it's on file is a style, that's why you caught a clip. But Weekdays is back, then I'm going on a trip to Philadelphia. Go for self and still be